Hi, people. How are you doing today? Okay, my name is Silva. Um, I'm a mom of five. I'm here to talk about the elementary school system here in Canada. All right, when I got here, I discovered that we had two types of elementary school. One is the public school, one is the Catholic schools. And so public schools are for those that maybe they're not Catholics, and every other religion, they tend to go to public schools. Then for the Catholic children, they are the ones that are enrolled in the Catholic schools. And criteria for enrolling in the Catholic schools is either your parents are Catholics, so you have your baptismal card, or your grandparents are Catholics and they bring their baptismal card. And with that, then they enroll the child in a Catholic school. Or the child is a Catholic, then you bring your baptismal card and you get enrolled. Now, in the Catholic schools, Catholic elementary school, remember everything telling you about is my own experience. Your own views and your experience might be different, but this is all my experience. Okay, so the first thing I discovered was okay, in the Catholic schools, they had the English speaking Catholic schools, and they have the French immersion, and they had extended French. Elementary school, all of them elementary school, elementary Catholic school. They still have the same in public school. They still have the extended French and French immersion, public school. But my focus today is on the Catholic side. As you all know, I'm Catholic, very much Catholic, go to church religiously. So for me, it was important for my kids, of course, to get the basic education. Then I've always been one that my dad is bilingual. So, like, he's super bilingual: French, English, Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa. So, he was one of those parents that wanted me to be bilingual. But I guess my mind just, I went to secondary school and I was goofing up when French teachers entered my class. Anyway, so I wanted my kids, and I still want my kids to be bilingual. And funny enough, most of them are right now. So now the decision you want to take or you want to make when you're enrolling your children in schools, because what I noticed was in every area in Canada, I would speak to Brampton because that's where, when I came to Canada, that's where I landed, and that's where I've been, right? So in every area, they have like schools around there. So there's a public school and there's a Catholic school in every area, almost like, will you say, like almost like a mini estate or mini communities. They are built like in little communities, right? So there's a Catholic school, there's a public school, there's a Catholic church. They try to make things easy so that children can actually walk to school, and those that maybe the school is a little bit far off, they can be bused. The school provides busing for people that are slightly away. Then there's something they call catchment area. If your child is enrolled in like a French immersion or an extended French, because you don't want your child to go to an English-speaking school, they have like a catchment area. They call it catchment area. So there's a French school that will be in that. There's not a lot of the French schools around, but you always find English schools. So, but if you prefer the French, then you might fall under like the catchment area where they do like a lottery system, throw in names into like a lottery. And if your child is lucky and their name is pulled, then your child might be bused. So that means your child is going to school slightly further off their home. But then before you even get to even being able to enroll your child in that school, you first go to a home school. Your home school is the school that is close to your house, or close to your address, where you are supposed to go to. If the English speaking one, you have to go there and seek permission. Like, you have to do like a written permission asking for your child to be able to go to the French school. So the principal there has to approve. If they don't approve, then you can't go. So it's after the approval, if you're lucky, that you can now go to the French immersion or extended French. And if they have space, that's where they do the lottery system. So there's a lot of paperwork, and there's a lot of It's not just something you just wake up and do, right? Okay, so having said that, so we have the French extended and we have the French immersion. The French extended elementary school, they teach French 60% and English 40%. And the French immersion, no, the French extended is 60% French, 40% English. French immersion is 100%, is 100% French. So usually that starts in grade 1. But the French extended starts in grade 5. So you have to wait your child will have grown to a certain level to be able to get into that one. Okay, so having said that, so it all depends on what you want and how you want to play this, right? For me, I started off with putting my kids. It took me a while too because I didn't want to split them up, right? So I put my kids the first time in French extended. Then I noticed there was so much I observed, which was good. So I put my fourth and fifth. They started off with the French immersion, like they started off grade 1 French. So right now they are bilingual, like they speak English and French. And in fact, I can tell that sometimes the school teachers will say, oh, I think they need to improve on their English because everything they know is French. And sometimes even at home, they're talking to me and they forget that they're talking to their mom and they start off like they say mom and they start blabbing in French. Then they realize they're talking to me, then they switch again to English. So so it all depends on you as a parent, what you want and what kind of education you want your child to have. But for me, I've always my love for Canada is seeing how they can give a child so much opportunities, right? Making a child understand. For me, a child's mind is like a sponge. The more you give it, the more it takes. The more you give it, the more it takes. So I always wanted my kids to be bilingual, and I thank God some of them are. Then yeah, so if it's your decision to come to Canada, these are kind of things you want to think about, like what kind of schools do you want your children to go to? English, French, Catholic, public. So it's something you can think about. All right. Okay. If you have any question you want to ask me about elementary school, if I don't know, I'm going to research. If I know, then I'm going to give you the answer. All right then. Bye. My name is Silva again.